Yes, so I am Jenny Greenway. I am a UX researcher at Just Eat, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how we've been using real user stories to remind people in our organisation that there are real people out there using our product in the real world. So at Just Eat, we love user testing. It is something that we do every single week, so we're really lucky that we have that facility. It's something that's cheap, it's easy, it's quick. We get some really, really valuable feedback that we can put back into the product development process as quickly as possible. However, mobile is mobile, and it was so easy for us to forget that there are real people out there using our product. And what happens in the lab is often very far removed to what happens in real life. And believe me that when people are hungry, they do react very, very differently, as we all say. So we've all heard it before. We've been said many, many times in this conference alone. It's one of the first things that we get taught in any kind of academic course or any kind of UX course, which is when you're talking about user-centered design, it's all about context, context, context. But for some reason, as soon as we entered the business environment, we neglected it. So we took a step back and thought, how can we start to introduce some of these contextual insights back into Just Eat? So we started a program of home visits. So we go into somebody's home every single month to see how they are actually ordering takeaway in the real world. And we very quickly learned that these images that we have in our head of all these young, glamorous, fun people sitting around enjoying takeaway is actually very, very different to what happens in real life. So in real life, things are not all that glamorous, believe me. And we have met some really interesting people in some really interesting homes, which are very much removed from the stock imagery that I've been showing you so far. And also the home visits have allowed us to experience the end-to-end experience. So what happens when the driver turns up with the pizza? Is it hot? Is it cold? What does it look like? What's the interaction when the driver turns up and gives the orderer the pizza? Are they leaving tips? What's that relationship like at that stage? We've also been able to see different motivations and behaviours and attitudes if people are ordering for lunch, if they're ordering for dinner, if they've come home from a night out and they're hungover and they want food quickly and all the restaurants on our platform are closed, and how people kind of emotions change at that stage. Or if you're trying to get your kids to bed and your kids are screaming and they're hungry and you're waiting for that pizza, and all of a sudden time becomes so much more important. Social context. So it makes a difference. It makes a difference if you're on a date night, you want something romantic, or if you're having a boys' night, a games night, a girly night in. A task matters. Are you ordering alone? Are you ordering in a group? Is it for an occasion? Is it Christmas? Is it someone's birthday? Do you just need to pick me up at the end of the week? Or are you just feeling a little bit lazy? And all of these things make a difference to the experience. So the physical context, this is one of the most important for me, because when we go into someone's home, we get so much insight just by looking around them. So I was in someone's home a little while ago, and they wanted to order a pizza, and then there was this phone call, and the restaurant was saying, "No, I'm not going to order. I'm not going to deliver this order." I'm like, "Why not?" They say, "Oh, because this flat is considered to be quite a rough part of London, and I don't feel safe delivering to this home." And all of a sudden, I started to panic. I was like, "What am I doing? What am I doing here? What's going to happen to me?" But it's really interesting because you can see all the things that are around you. You can see, do people go and get the knives and forks from the cupboards? Do they get plates? Do they get drinks? And that reminds me of another story when I went into someone's home, and I said to them, just order takeaway as you would do normally, and I'm just going to sit here and watch you. So they were like, "Okay." So they started placing their orders. They started opening a few drinks and having a good time. And then all of a sudden, they started getting some stronger substances out. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, what do I do now?" But it was really interesting to get that really, really kind of frank and open experience that night. Emotional context, I'm sure we've all experienced hunger before. We want food, we're hungry, we're angry, give it to me now. And when you're in someone's home, it's really interesting to see the anxiety people go through. Where's my food? And as the time approaches for when the delivery is due, they're looking at their watches. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And they're getting more worried as time goes by. technical context, one of the more obvious ones, what devices are they using, what speed, what kind of internet connections they have, but it also helped us uncover some less obvious things. So we've seen people who've got older phones or phones with not a lot of storage on them, how they've been downloading the app, placing their order, and then deleting it again just to free up some of the storage on the space. And that's kind of one of the examples of something that might not be obvious immediately. So bringing this all together, we've been able to come up with these really interesting stories that we've brought back to the organisation, and we've had PMs and we've had even directors who've come with us on these home visits, and they've also gone back to the organisation with these stories. So it's really kind of helped us bring things to life, and it's been great that when we have had a design decision to make, these stories have been repeated, and it really kind of helps us create empathy for us to be able to relate to the user and for us to remember that mobile is mobile and that there are real people using our products in the real world. Thank you.